Welcome. My name is Jess, and I am a current classroom teacher and a designer of professional learning for the APLC, and I made this resource. The purpose of this video is to give you a very quick explanation on how to use this resource, Circus of Forces, in your grade 6 classroom today. So let's get started with what's included. On page 1, it's the introductions, and I will get back to this later. On page 2, it's a note to you, the teacher. The board game is designed to cover the organizing idea of energy in grade 6. To assist you with teaching this organizing idea, I have included 3 additional lessons that you see linked here. We're going to go through each one very quickly. The first one is the Introduction to Forces. So it's a 3-page document where you can see a lot of extra instructions. Um, as well as a key, but the idea is that you would have access to a slide document or a Canva document, as well as the student handout, force cards, and 2 formative assessments as well. The big idea for this lesson is to differentiate between tension, compression, shear, and torsion, but in a really fun way. Don't worry, there is detailed instructions and a key. The second lesson is called plasticity versus elasticity. So again, lots of instructions, but the idea is that it comes with a basic explanation of what these two terms mean, and then a quick exploratory lab of where students have a variety of materials and they get to decide on how they want to classify them. Don't worry, there's a key in this lab too. So here's a quick peek at the student handout. The third lesson that's linked to this board game is the action and reaction forces. This lesson includes a slide or Canva presentation and a student handout. Through discussions and videos, students will differentiate between action and reaction forces. After several examples, students will then be prompted to come up with their own examples. And the final piece of the lesson is where students are asked to create a comic strip to help illustrate their understanding of the action and reaction forces. So let's get back to that board game. On page 3 and 4, you're going to see the student reflection sheets. Now, I would introduce these questions to the students when I introduce the game. I would definitely make it very clear that to the students that this is how I am going to see what they understand and that this is how I'm going to assess them. On page 5, you're going to find the actual game board. I would print this off slightly larger if you can and laminate it if possible. On page 6, you're going to find the card mat. This was my attempt at making the game more organized and showing students that they should have 5 separate piles of cards, giving each a home to each pile. Pages 7 to 16 are all the cards that I made. Please note that the odd number is the front of the page and the even numbers are the back side. Just keep this in mind when you're printing it off so it's on both sides of the paper. Page 17 and 18 are the key. So you're going to see 17 is the key for internal forces, external forces, and material properties. And then the last page, page 18, is the key for action-reaction forces. Now let's go over a quick background info on this resource. So this board game is designed to be a culminating review activity to be played after several concepts have been already taught. This activity is designed to align with the grade 6 organizing idea of energy, like I said earlier, There's actually two learning outcomes in grade 6 energy. However, this game aligns with the first one. Students analyze forces and relate them to interactions between student objects. Sorry. Now, the prep work, there is a little bit of prep work involved. So I would ensure that I would use those 3 lessons that I shared earlier in this video. You'll find the links to these lessons in page 2. I imagine playing this game with my own students in my own classroom, where it is currently set up as pods. I would probably print off 6 copies, one for each pod. I would print off the game board, which is page 5, slightly larger, maybe 11 by 18, and laminate it. I would try to print off all the other cards double-sided, cut them out, and maybe laminate them as well. Print off the card mat, and I would make sure that I find some dice for each board game and print off the student reflection sheet for each student. It's ultimately up to you when you give the sheet to the students. I personally would go over all the questions on the sheet before the game, but don't give out the sheet till after. I would also make sure I go up with the instructions multiple times with the kids so they can play more independently. So finally, let's get to how to play this game. So the game, you need to have this page laminated. You also need to have some sort of player token, something to move around the board, one per person, a die, and each of the decks, there's 5 decks that are printed off, cut up, and put on the card mat. There is an option where you could have a mini whiteboard for drawing or explaining their thoughts. Now, the goal of the game is to be the first person to go through the circus and reach the finished bubble sheet on the game board. So you see, we all start at start, and the purpose is to get all the way to the end. So once everyone has collected their token that they're going to move and they put it on the start, they're going to shuffle each deck and place them face down on the card mat, and you're going to roll the dice. Now, depending on where you land, if you land on red, you're going to pick up an internal force card. If you land on orange, you're going to pick up an external force card. If you land on green, you're going to pick up a materials property card. If you land on the teal color, you're going to pick up an action-reaction force card. And finally, if you land on blue, you're going to pick up a wild card. You're going to draw the correct card in page 2 and read the card aloud and answer the question. Another player can check the answers by looking at the page entitled Key. If answered correctly, the player that answered it correctly can move ahead 2 spaces. If wrong, they have to move back 1 spot. If you get a wild card, you just simply do what it says. Each player plays 1 card per turn, and then it's the next person's turn. So I hope I've explained this well enough for you that you can use it in your own classroom. But if you have any questions or comments or concerns or just want to reach out, I'd love to hear from you. You feel free to email me at jess.oracheski@aplc.ca. I look forward to hearing from you.